Alright, what's up YouTube? Here's another day at the Sherman Theobald household here in Saranac Lake, and I thought I would do another YouTube video. Today our subject is going to be about what soil should you use when you want to plant your weed plants. What soil do I use? What would I recommend? And maybe what's the best way to get seedlings started, small plants going at first. So I figured I would give you guys a couple of tips and share with you a few, quote-unquote secrets that I have that I'm willing to share to help you guys jumpstart your grow and get some really nice plants to start off with. The first thing you want to know is that, when you go to plant weed, you really want to have good seeds. If you don't have good seeds, you're kind of putting yourself behind to begin with. It's really difficult to germinate shitty weed seeds. If you've ever tried, it's nearly impossible sometimes. You really have to get every single variable just right, whether it's water clarity, the medium you're starting them in, whether it's paper towel or it's a peat plug or it's a Coca-Cola plug or some sort of grow plug, right? Like those little chunks that you can start your seeds in, right? You see little kids using in kindergarten when they do their flower experiment with their teacher or whatever. It's the same stuff. You can actually grow weed in those things. I don't do those. I typically use the paper towel method, which seems to work the best for me. All paper towel method really is you get some good weed seeds, you pick out 2 sections of paper towel, rectangular sections that are about this big. You get them wet. Make sure your paper towel is clean, by the way. You don't want to take your paper towel out of the garbage or from a dumpster somewhere. You want to make sure it's a good, new, clean, fresh piece of paper towel. Because believe it or not, weed seeds are picky about their environment, and they actually won't grow where they can detect there are environmental toxins or pollution factors. They'll kind of steer away from that type of an environment, and they won't grow at all. So you want a clean environment for your weed plants. So that they know that where they're going and where they're rooting into is good and clean and safe for them to grow in. So basically what I do is I take 2 sections of paper towel rectangles, this big, and I get them wet with one of these. I'll show you actually. This is what it looks like. It's a squirt bottle you would use on your hair or, for your plants or whatever, or on a cut or something, right? This one had hydrogen peroxide in it. As you can see, I got rid of it. I just dumped it out, and now I fill it with water. And this is what I use to wet those paper towel sections I'm talking about. I get the paper towels out, I wet them down with this thing, not so it's dripping, but so that it's damp enough to start life, right, to start a plant cycle life. And then I put my seeds in there, next to each other. Then I put the other piece on top of it, and I wet that whole thing a little bit. And then I take the whole thing, I fold each side over onto itself carefully. Not so it's all wadded up, but so it's a nice rectangular section. I take the whole thing, and I'll put it into something like this, into a Ziploc bag, right? And then sometimes a lot of people even they'll put it in the Ziploc bag, and then they'll actually close the Ziploc bag so that the seeds inside there open up quicker, because believe it or not, when you starve them of a little bit of oxygen, not completely, you want them to get a little bit of oxygen, but if you starve them a good amount of it, they'll actually grow quicker in search of oxygen. The roots will grow quicker. That's one trick. So anyways, that's what I like to do, is something called paper towel method. I just explained it. It's super easy. All you got to do is put your seeds inside 2 paper towels, wet those 2 paper towels. They go into a Ziploc bag, and then the Ziploc bag itself will get put into something like, it looks, you want to put it somewhere like this, right? Like a drawer. Because You want them in darkness. You don't want your seeds exposed to light. Actually, if you expose a weed seed to light, it won't root. That's the strange part, is it needs darkness to create those roots to start growing. Once it has the roots, it needs light. But once you have the roots, then you can expose it to light. You can't expose it to light before it has roots. It needs roots first, and the way to get the roots is actually darkness, which is strange, but that's true. I've tried it, hundreds of times. So put your bag inside of a dark drawer. Don't let barely any light into that section or area that your seeds are sitting in. It don't need it. It don't need light, okay? It actually needs an absence of light to make good roots. So once it's rooted, now we start thinking about soil, right? Okay? This is the biggest part of the video I was trying to work at. I want to show you guys what I'm using for soil here to start these, alright? Most people are going to want to use cow manure or potting soil, whether it's Miracle Grow or Fox Farms or Dr. Earth or Black Gold, something, bag that's already been pre-made. I don't mess around with that, alright? I make my own soil. I'll show you how I do this, okay? What I do is I buy a few bricks of this coca-coir pith, it's called. It's basically compressed coconut fiber. I'll show you the bag. This is what the bag looks like. Okay. This is made by a company called Harris. This stuff works amazing. It's my favorite. At first, it's a pain in the ass to deal with. They come in bricks, okay? I don't have any bricks here to show you what they look like right now. I already made them all up. So what you do is you actually take them out of the bag, you get the bricks out, you throw the bricks into a bin that looks sort of like this. Okay. Here's my bin. And you break it up. You have to pour water over it. You pour water on coca-coir, and that makes it expand, sort of, gets bigger. And it crumbles, and then it turns into like dirt, what you want, right? So after I crumble it with water and prepare it like it's supposed to be done, as the directions say, I actually like to mix a little bit of composted cow manure from Vermont. This is really good stuff. This is, they call it Moo Dew, right? Here, look. Moo Dew, okay? Dew, right? So, I put that in there, and this is what the soil ends up looking like. It's about 50% coca-coir pith, 50% manure. And some people will go ahead and they'll add perlite or vermiculite to this. Good idea, more power to you. If that's what you want to do to try to increase your yields and get healthier plants, that'd probably work, actually. I don't screw around with perlite that much. Perlite, you find it, 50 years later on the ground. It don't break down like dirt or paper. It's not really a renewable resource either. I don't screw around with perlite. I don't screw around with vermiculite. I won't ever screw around with it again. I don't need it, right? So what I got here, all it is poop, cow poop, right? Composted, and coca-coir. Okay, this stuff. Coca-coir. That's all it is, guys. And once you get the moisture into it and you mix it up real good, it looks really great, actually. This is what it looks like. See, look. Really nice stuff. It aerates properly. It breathes really well. It's darkened with a lot of good nutrients and minerals. You can see that it contains a good amount of nutrients and minerals. You can tell when you're growing it. It's amazing stuff. If you've ever planted in it, you know that your seedlings grow much better in a mix that's made with coca-coir than, say, Miracle Grow or Black Gold potting soil. It's just, it's fact. Try it. Try it. So, anyways, that's it, guys. I don't really have any more to say about soil. You could go ahead and add your perlite or your vermiculite to that. I actually added one other thing. I'll show you what it is. I added this. I will do this from now on every time. It's called mycorrhizae. They're microorganisms that help to inoculate a root zone. It's called root inoculum. So it contains little microscopic creatures, I guess you could call them creatures, right? That make the root zone move and grow more than normal. It's more a more active root zone. So this is a good idea to help your roots grow really big. Mycorrhizal root inoculum, or mycorrhizae fungi, they're called. On top of that, guys, you really don't need anything else. Coca coir, whether it's pre-broken up into soil already or it's in a brick, works either way. If it's in a brick, add water, break it up by hand. It's easy. Manure. Add the manure. You always want to add manure, whether it's worm castings, right, worm poop, or cow poop, or I guess you could use composted horse manure would work as well. It just stinks. So use manure. Third thing is maybe add something like perlite or vermiculite or clay pebbles to aerate your mix better so that your mix breathes a little better. It oxygenates better. But you don't have to, because it oxygenates well already, because it's Coca coir. And you don't need frickin' perlite or vermiculite. It's bad for the environment, to be honest. So that's it, guys. Get growing your weed. Try the paper towel method to start. Get those seeds popped open. Get those little roots going. Then put them, a quarter of an inch deep in that soil that you just made, or half an inch deep, and cover it just enough so that the root is covered, but the shell itself is sticking up a little tiny bit out of your dirt. And water it. It'll grow. Have a nice day, guys. Peace.